There's a growing trend down the shore to tell people to bud out. More towns are banning smoking at the beach. That has been one of the priorities for a group called GASP, Global Advisors on Smoke-Free Policy. Joining us now is the Executive Director, Karen Blumenfeld. We welcome you back to the program. These numbers that we're seeing of these beaches and these parks, these communities saying, no, we're not going to have this anymore. Is it going quickly enough for your liking or not?
It's moving very quickly. As a matter of fact, over the course of several years, there's been an explosion in policies that are really taking off, not only in New Jersey, but across the country, on smoke-free parks, smoke-free beaches. People have become acclimated and need to have smoke-free environments. It's a class A carcinogen. It can affect you inside or outside, and it makes it a more family-friendly environment. Now,
there's legislation involved here. In fact, there's a couple of different laws or slash bills. There's expansion of one particular piece of legislation that I believe would incorporate more of, well, for instance, college campuses we're talking about, and e-cigarettes we're talking about. And so you've gotten a little bit of, pardon the pun, blowback on some of this as well, for people to say that some of the legislation on college campuses particularly may be a little bit onerous, maybe a little bit going too far. How do you react to that?
Well, the response is really the proof's in the pudding. There are communities with county colleges as well as state universities and private higher educational institutions that have all gone 100% smoke-free across the country. So it's really based on consumer demand or student demand that people want to have their environments be smoke-free in college campuses. It's not something that's been happening per se by state laws. It's been happening by individual county colleges or universities making their own decisions. So
a lot of the legislative underpinning for this, though, I guess the foundation for schools and communities being able to act this way is legislation that's what, about 5 or 6 years old right now?
Yes, 2006 the Smoke-Free Act passed, and it made all K through 12 school property 100% smoke-free.
So now it's the expansion of that into other areas, which is one of the priorities for you, but also the way some amendments have been offered. It's gotten through the Assembly now, correct? Mm-hmm. But not the Senate yet. And there are some amendments that I guess would allow some things you're not particularly happy with.
Well, the electronic cigarette component is included in the smoke-free parks law, so that would be in there. With regards to the county or the state colleges and universities, college campuses, some do include e-cigarettes and some don't. But what we are seeing is that electronic cigarettes is really trending with youth. Mm-hmm. And there's been a 100% increase in use.
Do you still see that as a gateway to smoking regular cigarettes, or as an alternative that keeps people away from something that's arguably more dangerous?
Well, we think that it could be both. But it's not clear that electronic cigarettes are less dangerous. They have similar chemicals and different chemicals, and there really aren't the long-term studies to show the health concerns with regards to it. But there are plenty of short-term studies that have been done to show short-term negative health effects, not only on the people that use the electronic cigarettes, but also on the people that are exposed to the vapors.
There are some, I believe you might be among the critics as well, who see the pending legislation as failing in the sense that it allows some designated smoking zones. In some areas, up to 20% of some public areas would be allowed to still remain smoking areas, and that's gotten some blowback as well, pardon the pun again.
It would be up to the community as to whether or not they wanted to allow up to 20% smoking. But we're not sure whether that is going to still remain in the bill or not. It's still in process.
Would you support the bill if it includes that?
Well, we really want it to be 100% because that's where the trend is. It's been a long time since we've seen a trend where you do partial bans, and there's a reason for that. 100% smoke-free environments help kids not start smoking. All people start to smoke basically before they turn age 21. So if you can create 100% smoke-free environments for children and youth, that normalizes smoke-free environments. When you say to a child or a teen that you could smoke in one area but you can't smoke in another, that's condoning the behavior, and this is a very negative health behavior. So making it 100% is easier. Plus, the other problem with having a partial ban is that it's very difficult for people who are there to know where they can and can't smoke. Where is that line of demarcation? And then from an environmental perspective, which we know the Sierra Club is very much interested in, as well as we are, there's a huge environmental impact from tobacco waste. So that would still be in existence. So it's unclear as to why the 20% is in there, but the default would be 100%, and that's what we're seeing towns do in New Jersey.
Obviously an issue we have to keep our eye on to see where this goes. We thank you for coming in once again.
Thank you so much.